will join in a minute or so. Yeah, we're all live on YouTube.
Shall we start?
Join in a minute. Yes, we can start. So, okay, I think I'll just do the quick Prarthana Shloka.
Yeah.
Okay. Om Gananantva Ganapatim Havamahe Kavim Kavinamupamashtravastamam Jyeshtarajam Brahmanan Brahmanaspata Anishrinvannotipasida Sadhanam Shri Mahaganapataye Namaha Om Prano Devi Saraswati Vaje Bhervajini Vati Dhinama Vityavato Ano Divo Brvatah Parvatadam Saraswati Yajata Gantu Yagyam Avan Devi Jujushana Vratachi Shagmano Vacham Shati Shrunoto Shri Vagdevyai Namaha Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Welcome everyone. I think a couple of them will join a little late. I'm not sure why we have a little fewer people today. But yeah, first of all, welcome. And I would like to formally introduce Meera ji here. So Meera madam is a very, yeah, Meera ji, you can say.
Namaste everyone.
So Meera madam is a very senior person. She is a yoga practitioner, Dhyāna practitioner, and who is also trained in doing so from a very reputed university. She's done her MSc in yoga, and she is a very, very ardent devotee. Okay, so with that few words, I don't want to take elaborate things. I'll just leave it there. So Meera ji, just to give a little bit background of all the children here. They are very smart, very good. You are there in the inaugural session as well. So what I will do, I will just quickly, in a minute, I'll read out the questions they have asked me to answer during these sessions. This was the first exercise that I did. Okay, I asked them, what are the questions that you want me to answer in these sessions? Okay, and we have answered some of them, but a lot of them are pending, and we will do that as we go. I'll just share this for a minute with you. Okay, so Shriyan had started with what is life? Why is it difficult to concentrate on one thing? That was what Pranav had asked. How does Ramayana end and how does Mahabharata start? We sort of, Shri Amtini asked this and she herself answered with Bharata and then how the whole thing starts. Okay, is the universe endless? Very important question by Veeran. Okay, benefits of learning Bhagavad Gita by Athar, and why do I feel maths is tough for me? Or for that matter, we can generalize it. Why do I feel something is tough for me? Okay. How was God created? This was another very nice question that Adikshit had asked. Okay. Who was the one who literally wrote down the whole Gita? How did people have such incredible memory and power at that point? I think this is one of the very key questions which probably you can answer in a lot of ways. How can the teachings of Bhagavad Gita help us in our day-to-day life problems? Okay, yeah, this was the same thing. Why am I here and what am I doing here? I mean, this was something that Gauriji had asked, but yeah. How do we find the purpose of our life and where do we find it spark within us? How do we get motivated? What is the purpose and how do we drive ourselves? Where is the spark for us to get there, you know? What is the literal meaning of the term Bhagavad Gita? This we had somehow answered. Okay. How can we face our day-to-day? This is a very interesting term that Usha had used. He has miseries in life. Okay. So with this, I just wanted to share this with you. I think with this, I'll just leave the floor open for you and you can take it from here. And last week we had just said where we had stopped was we had said that they had asked me, we were discussing this when there were Pandavas and there were Kauravas. Pandavas were right and Kauravas were wrong. It was a clear distinction and Pandavas fought and they won the war. What happens when two parties and both of them are wrong? Which side do we choose?
That's an interesting question.
Right? So I have promised them I'll answer pretty much all these questions during this period.
Very nice, very nice.
You'd like to take them? Please go.
Yeah, thank you, Karthik Mahodayā. And very nice to see this wonderful children sitting here thinking so much. When all the children there during summer vacation, I don't know what they are doing, but definitely these set of kids are doing something really great because you have made them thinkers. So that's a very good way to start, a new class you're going into by thinking and having clarity on certain things. Okay, on that note, today's class, as Karthik Mahodayā also conducts, I like to keep it interactive because it should not be talking and you people getting bored, which always happens in classes, right? So let us keep it interactive. Okay? All of you show me your thumbs up if you're okay with interactive sessions. Wonderful. And with a smile. Okay? Yeah. So let's start with few questions. I saw that. A nice smiley, a thumbs up. Yeah. So I want to, today's session, what Karthik Mahodayā wanted me to take was mostly emphasize on meditation. Okay. So before that, to go into meditation, we need some kind of foundation. We need to understand certain things. Otherwise, it is difficult to meditate. You all know about Mahabharata, you know about Bhagavad Gita, you know about Karthik Mahodayā talking about it. You all have discussed. It is between Pandavas and Kauravas, and in the middle of the battlefield, there stands, who is that? Arjuna, asking so many questions to Krishna. Like, I'm confused, I can't fight. What am I supposed to do? I am losing my energy. So then Krishna comes to his rescue and gives him knowledge. What does it give him? Does he give him a weapon to fight much stronger? Because all kinds of weapons were given to Arjuna and he has already earned them, right? Has he not earned all the weapons? Was he not a big valorous king? Was he not? Yes. And I would like to see your beautiful faces. Please don't keep the cameras off. Otherwise, whom am I talking to? Athar, look at the smile. This gives me some motivation to speak. All of you with your beautiful smiling faces motivate me to speak. Okay. If I see the screen, it's so lifeless. Okay. Now, the context in which Bhagavad Gita was, which happened was completely in a war zone, right? All of you agree with me? You all know this much, right? Yeah. And Arjuna wants to run away because he is not able to stay there and face the grandparents, guru, everybody in front of him. So he wants to run away. Krishna is saying, no, you can't do that. You have to stand here and act. You have to fight. No question of running away. Okay, that means you have to do your duty. So let's start from there. What, according to all of you, is action? What do you mean by acting? What is action? What is action?
Action is something when you do something.
You do something. Do something in the sense? Eating can be action.
Yes, ma'am.
Eating can be action. Then what else? Come on, fast, quick.
I'm running.
Unmute yourselves and talk. What else can be action? Hamsini, Pranav, what else can be actions?
Sense of you doing any physical or mental movement.
Running can be an action. Neil was telling. Neil is trying to say running can be thinking. Fantastic. Neil says thinking can be an action. Have you ever thought about it? Thinking can be an action. Yes, thinking can be an action. That's a very smart answer. Then, what else?
Which has an equal and an opposite reaction for what we do as action.
We will talk about reaction. We are coming there. Eating, thinking, running, sitting, jogging, sleeping, everything, everything. It need not be that you have to move from one place to another. Even otherwise, annoying or annoying can be an action. Okay. So there are all kinds of actions. Okay. You cannot think of this world without action. Can you think of a world without action? Can you think of a world without action? No, you can't think of a world. Can you think about your life without action? Can you think about your life without action? Now Hansini is thinking. Why?
When you asked me to think, obviously I'll think, Mama.
Yeah, tell me. Can you think of your life without action? I need answer also, no? Only
Like
thinking.
if we sit, it's an action that we are sitting. If we stand, it's an action that we are standing. If we sleep, it's an action of we are sleeping. So there's nothing we can do without doing any action.
There is nothing you can think of which is actionless. You have to keep acting, right? Life is all about acting. You keep acting. Now, action has a result. Action has a result or no? Yeah, it has a result. How many of you agree that any action will have an outcome, result? Oh, wow. So many of you are, yes, very good. Vishrud, you don't agree with it?
Ma'am, I totally agree with it.
Sorry?
Ma'am, I totally agree with it.
You totally agree with it. So every action has a result. To use your body to do something, Vishrud says, okay, fine. So action, even your mind you can use, which is in the body. Okay. So action has an outcome. Now, outcome, the result. It can be the result what you like. How many types of results can be? Unmute yourself, Sri Hamsini.
Ma'am, excellent, very good, average, below average, failure.
It can all be summarized as
Good and bad.
good and bad for you can be good for you can be something bad for somebody else. So how do you summarize result? You agree with me or not? What is good for you can be bad for somebody else. Yes? What is bad for somebody can be good for you. So how do you summarize result? Can I put it this way? I like, what I don't like, and a mixed of like and dislike. Can I put it that way? Something what I like, something what I don't like, something which is a mixture of like and dislike. It can be average. Does it cover all the results? Does it cover all the results? Yes? Yes? Is there anything else which I have left out? Good, okay, and bad. Yeah, that's what good is for you, good. It can be bad for somebody else. So you can say as what I like, the result can be what I like. The result can be what I don't like. The result can be an average. Okay, partially I like. Okay, I can manage. We say, no, sometimes I can manage. It's not up to the mark what I was expecting, but it's okay. That's what most of us say, right? So like, dislike, and a mixed result. Okay. Now you put an effort, and why is the result so varying? You have put an effort, but result is so unpredictable. Why? Okay, let me put it this way. When the result, what I expect, is not, I mean, whatever I get is not up to the expectations of my likes. If I get a result which I don't like, then what do I do next? Continuously it is happening. So what do I do? Suddenly, a common man, what does he do? Think. Pranav, what do you think he'll do? A common man, he is continuously tilling the soil, and before the plants can actually come up, it rains, it spoils all the plants. So what happens? What does he do?
No, maybe he just tries to improve his work.
He will improve, but then everything is dependent on so many other things. No. Okay, Neil says he gets angry. Angry is not helping. Then what? You get angry, then what? Does it improve the result? Persist. Then what? You have seen in villages, when they don't get rains, what do they do?
Ma'am, they do crop rotation. They change the crops probably.
Neil says they pray. That's what I'm looking for. Neil says they pray. They pray. They are very simple people. They don't know crop rotation. They just sow. They just wait for rains. Rains don't come. And they are waiting. And every time this is the thing which is happening. So they just surrender because they think there's something which is much more. What you call? You can't call it supreme, but something which I don't know, which is working. There's something which is working much powerful, and I don't know about it. So let me surrender to it. At least something will help me. So that all of us call that what?
Meera ji, sorry to interrupt. I think your video is sort of not synced with this one. I guess there's an internet challenge. If you can just check, because I think that's where the little bit of a lag in communications happen.
Oh, really? Should I log out and log in?
Probably that, or if the internet is clear, then it should be good.
Let me check. Yeah, there is a lag in the video. I can see that. I'm trying to. Internet shows a problem in the signal. Well, let me check.
Okay. 19. Okay, Meera ji will just join back. In the meantime, let's quietly continue the discussion for a minute or so. Okay. Now she's back. Okay, I don't need to get back to it.
It's trying to connect. I think there's a problem.
You are frozen actually. Your video is frozen. Okay, what does the word pray signify to all of you? Neil said pray. They pray. So what does this word pray mean? Anybody who wants to take that up? What does the word pray mean? All of us have had some experience praying, no? Let's start with Vishrut.
Sir, I think pray means is they like try to connect to God to ask him for something.
Try to connect to God for asking something. Okay, then. That is one. Okay, then ask for something. So he has told me about three things now. One, connect to someone. He said he used the word God. Connect to God and for something. First, there is something that he wants to get, which he does not have right now. You'll ask only for things that you don't have, no? Will you ask for anything that you have? Vishrut?
No, sir.
No. So you're asking for something, then you're asking somebody for something. Now, in this case, that happens to be God. Right? Is that what you meant?
Yes, sir.
Ask for something. Praying means asking to God for something.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, do you ask your parents for something?
Yes, sir.
You also ask your parents for something. Now, is that also praying?
No.
No. Anybody else?
Sir, can it be worshipping?
Worshipping. Okay. Now that's a different word that Pranav has come up with. Athar, you want to say something? No, Athar does not want to say anything at all. Why?
Sir, I'm still thinking.
You are still thinking. Okay. Neil.
Maybe like, like, yeah, the same thing, just like asking God for something.
Asking God. Okay.
Or like surrendering to God with devotion.
Surrendering. Okay. Asking, surrendering, worshipping. I've got three different words now. Okay. Meera ji is back. Viren.
Yes, sir.
You want to add anything to what people have said?
So your voice is breaking.
My voice is breaking. Okay. Hang in there. I think Meera ji is back. She will take over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, now also I think it is lagging.
It is lagging.
There is a poor post. Okay. I don't know why it is so. It is lagging.
Okay. Probably you can switch off your video and check.
I'll do that.
It's okay. We can hear you.
They're able to hear me?
Yeah, we're all able to hear you. That's not a problem. Just turn off your video.
But then there is, see, when they can't see me, there will be a problem.
Oh, is it? Okay.
I need to see them. Just give me a minute. Let me see if I can change and.
Sure. So I was taking the discussion on what praying means to all of them. Okay. Okay. So let's continue while Meera ji sets her internet back. Okay.
Now you're able to.
Absolutely. Let's have a round of applause for this. 5. Okay. So while you were just setting things up, I was having a brief discussion on what praying means to each of them. Okay. So I got some very interesting words. I'll just throw out the keywords, then you can take it from there.
Yeah.
I got the word asking God for something. That was the first word I got. The second word that I got was worshipping. The third word that I got was surrender. Okay.
Okay.
And Vishnut gave the first answer. Then who was that who gave the second answer? I think it was
Pranav, is it?
Pranav. Yes.
Pranav.
Second answer. Neil gave the third answer of surrender. Okay.
Surrender. Okay. All of them are right in some way or the other, because each of us have our own, way of praying, and we pray for various reasons, right? Can you all discuss for what reason you have prayed? For what do you pray? What is your intention when you pray? All of you would have prayed at some point of time, or you don't pray at all? You all pray, right? Yeah. For what do you pray? When did you pray last? Maybe that's the right question. And for what? To help me when I'm in trouble. Very good. Then. Then in the morning before going to school. Okay, great. Before the class, Pranav says, excellent. Very nice. Then Hamsini, why do you pray?
Very weird. Before, even though I would have read for exam, before exam, I asked God, I just help me pass.
Even though you have studied for the exam.
I mean, I'll be thorough. I'll know. I'll know I'll know what is in the paper. Once I get the question paper, I'll be like, even though I know, just help me pass. Enough.
Just help me pass. Why do you do that? Because the result is very unpredictable, right?
Sometimes we will be able to predict, because like maths paper, the answer is 1. And then, even, for example, the answer is 1 and your friend also gets 1 and the whole class gets 1. And so your answer is correct. So you have 3 marks in your pocket. So maths paper is predictable.
Okay. So you're happy when you get what you want, and you're unhappy most of the time when you don't get what you want, right? Yes. So the result makes us happy, makes us sad. If we are happy, no issues about it. There is no issue about it. We celebrate. When we are sad, that's the time when we really go, we need help. And we develop anxiety, because the result, what we expected, is not up to the mark. And that's why we take the support of God, because we now understand very clearly that whatever we put effort, the action, the result may not be proportional to your action. Something else factor is influencing the result, right? Something else is influencing. All of you agree with me? And show me your beautiful faces. All of you agree with me? Yes. So the result is dependent on various factors. You all agree, right? So that is called Adrushta Phala. Adrushta Phala. Now I would like to take you to another topic. You know why? Like some people pray, they get what they want. Some people pray, sometimes they get, sometimes they don't get. This result is dependent on what? You will be questioning, how is it? What exactly this result is dependent on?
So just to add, Meeraji, we have discussed the 5 factors on which a result is dependent on from the Bhagavad Gita. So just
okay. So I was just trying to tell them that the result which is dependent on few points, what we gather. I wanted to say, put it that way. Like for example, I am just giving you examples. You're going to school. You see an old lady struggling to cross the road. You help her out. Okay? That's a good deed or a bad deed, according to you? Unmute. Good deed. So nature grants you points. There are few points you get for that. Like how when you do something nice, teacher gives you points, no? Parents say very good, right? Like that, nature has its own way of giving points. So all of us get some points when we are doing some actions. And that too deliberate actions like hurting somebody, good or bad? Bad, because you don't want to be hurt. So you can't be hurting somebody. Killing animals, violence, good or bad?
Bad.
Very bad. So when it is very bad, more points taken out. Okay, you are not given enough points. Like for example, you have helped somebody, 20 points given to you. That is like 20 mark question. You have answered it and you got full on full. Okay, and you did something very bad. You have 20 points and already those 20 has been taken away because of that. So like this, constantly our actions are gaining point and taken away also. Points are taken away also. That is why conscious acting we emphasize on, and only human beings can do that. Only we can do that. Okay, Kartik Mahodayā would have explained, we have the intelligence to do that. So this points giving for all good actions, keeping others in mind, not at the maximum, try as much as possible not to hurt parents, listen, respect, everything has 5 points. 5 points. Parents you respected today, you have taken care of them, you have been nice. And believe me, this points gaining is not very easy. Plant is drying in your house, you have to water. You say, Mom, water the plant, I don't want to get up, I am watching my favorite movie. You have to spend some energy to get up, make an effort, go to the plant, water it. And who wants to do it during the holidays? Tell me. And now when the result comes, oh, I studied so much, but not up to the mark, means how much laziness, marks are gone, no there. Because plant was dying and it was our duty to help the plant with water. At home at least, if not everywhere, nature provides plants water outside in the form of rain, but at least when you're growing a plant, little bit if you water, it's called Bhuta Yajna. So our ancestors gave us lot of, techniques, lot of like day-to-day activities where you can gain points. Everyday basis, do these things, you'll gain good points. And what happens when you gain these points? When you gain these points, when you are in trouble, it comes in the form of knowledge, it comes in the form of people. Sometimes knowledge is so important. What decision do I make now? I'm so confused. Then here goes the light of those points. It comes in the form of light, which says, hey, look, Hamsini, this is better for you. So that's the point what you have gained in the past. It just doesn't happen randomly in nature like that. So you have a good family. Now you know how many points you have collected in the past. For a good parent, how many points? Everything works on that point, accounts in this world. And who decides how many points to give? Who decides? Can you tell me? Viren, show me your beautiful face. Neil. Who decides who will give points?
I'm God.
Okay, let us assume God is sitting there and giving points. Somebody is sitting there, he is saying, okay, you have 20 points, like teacher, you did a good job today, take 20 points. Now, God is a human being sitting there, he might like somebody more than others. So there is a good chance he can give 30 points and another person 20 points. Will that happen with God? Can that happen? It won't happen. Why it won't happen? Why can't God be partial? God has no preferences. Fantastic. God has no preferences. God will not be partial. Okay. So for that, to understand a better way, I'll tell you. See, any result, if a person is sitting there, that person is bound to anything which comes into existence keeps changing. So there is a good chance that something can change. But God is not that which keeps changing. The definition of God is not which keeps changing like human beings. If it is changing, then the mind will change. When he is giving points, he'll have some preferences. So that is why we call, everyone is equal in the eyes of God. Actually, God is not the person for us sitting somewhere. He becomes that knowledge. He becomes that air when you are in need of it. He becomes that fire. Like everything, whatever you think of, you just can't think anything, minus God. There's nothing which you can think of minus God. Because unless God is not the law, which is putting everything in place, like, I am impartial. You do this, you get this. You do this many points are minus. So this is standard. There is a standard rule, and that standard rule, law, is God. Because he can't be partial. He can't be partial, sitting there somewhere and deciding how many points to give. So that is why he is called the person who gives us karma phala, result. He is the karma phala data, but he doesn't do anything. He just gives us all the tools to perform. And he gives us the intelligence to perform. That is why animals, they don't suffer. They may be cut and all, they get pain and all, but no suffering like man. We all have anxiety because the results keep varying. Oh, success, my friend got better than me, competition, everything is so much in us. But animals don't suffer. Plants don't suffer. Okay? But human beings suffer because why? Why do we suffer? Because we have a choice. Because we have a choice. And we do take sometimes wrong decisions and we suffer. We have a choice. If you don't have a choice, like for example, I have a game, I am the game master. I am asking you people to play the game and I decide the rules. I can make somebody win or I can make somebody lose the game. But I give you very little powers. You can win or lose with those little powers. And suddenly when you're about to win, I decide that, oh, you should not be winning. Will you call me God? And no, I don't like this person. She's not supposed to win this game. I take a decision now. You're about to win. And suddenly I take a decision. Will I be called a God? Huh? Think. Why you all look so blank? You are thinking? I hope you're all thinking. No, you can't call me God. There is a game of life. I decide one day and I'm going to have the power in my hands. I'm going to decide who is going to win and lose. But then a little bit of brains is given to these human beings. Let them decide and let them try to win. I'll enjoy the show. And here goes Viren almost winning. And then I decide, no, I don't like him. So he is not going to win. Can I do that? Will I be called God? So that is why if you have to call somebody God, that means God is all pervasive. He cannot be changing like human beings. He cannot have preferences. I'm partial. I like this. I don't like this. But human beings, for us, always like, dislike, dislike. I like this, so I prefer this. I don't like this, so I don't like to go this way. So this is our preference. Okay, so that's the difference, main difference between God and human beings. Why we have to know all these things, success, failure, God, prayer? That is why we have to pray also. What will happen when you pray? When you pray, you know what happens? You are actually gaining some points. Everything works on how many points you gain. When you are praying constantly, you are communicating with God. God is not there somewhere sitting. So that is why our culture has wind as God, fire as God, because when you pray and have a good relationship, you will not abuse. wind, you will not abuse fire, you will not abuse water. That is why we have one Agni Devata, one Vayu Devata, one Devata, Varuna Devata for water. Is it not? Is it not? Is it not? And when you pray, what happens? You're gaining constantly. What are you gaining? What are you gaining?
Knowledge.
Points. You are in good communication with God. You're communicating. And also you want something. You want an object. You think it is good for you. At this particular point of time, I want this. I go sincerely, I pray. On this note, I'll tell you one story. Okay. You all like stories? You all like stories? There was one person called Haru. He was a small boy with his mom. He lived in a village. This Haru had a very short, little tiny nose. Okay, very tiny nose. So everybody in the village made fun of him. And he would come and cry, Mom, I have a very small, tiny little nose and everybody is making fun of my nose. So mom used to console him, say, it's okay, don't worry, you are great, as all our moms do. One day it so happened he grew up and the mother just fell sick and passed away. So the village headman, you all understand who is the headman? The person, sarpanch kind of a person. He took the responsibility of Haru. He said, Haru, how long will you simply mourn like this and miss your mom? Now it is time, you need somebody as your partner. So we'll get you married because Haru is big now. Okay? So they'll go and find a girl. So Haru says, I want a girl who has a small nose. So the headman asks, why do you want a girl who has a small nose? So that when she comes, she'll not make fun of me. If she also has a small nose, she will not make fun of me. So village headman went, looked for a girl who has a very tiny nose and brought her. And both of them got married. Now the entire village started making fun of the both husband and wife. Like Haru and his wife, both of them have small nose. So this Haru got fed up. So he said, hey, look, I'm going to meditate. I'm going to sit in a forest and I'm going to think of God. And I am making sure that I'll make sure that the God will propitiate and he will grant me boons so that I get rid of this nose. So he goes and meditates in the forest. He meditates with a strong desire. So what you ask with strong desire, with a very, very, concentrate, focused mind, you will get it. Because we have the power to meditate like that and get what we want. Only thing is, we don't know what we want. We will ask for all wrong things. So Haru also meditated like that. Suddenly, some angel or a god or a devata came and gave some 3 dice. And he said, the roll of the dice, you can ask for a boon and you'll get it. So Haru very happily took the 3 dice, whatever he had got. He came home, he told his wife, see, I'm going to roll this dice and ask for things. And I'm going to become, I'm going to get things. So Haru's wife said, ask for money, ask for money, ask for money, ask for wealth. She started telling Haru. Haru said, no, first we'll deal with this nose. Okay, this is a major problem for us. So what did Haru ask? May we get beautiful noses. Here goes the dice. And the entire body was full of beautiful noses. So Haru got so sad, and his wife, oh my dear, I told you, be careful when you're asking for something. All everywhere, noses. Now Haru was so disappointed. He said, okay, this time I'm going to ask. And he said, oh, I don't want this noses. So all the noses went. He didn't even have his little nose. It all went. So now the 3rd dice goes, and then the wife stops it. Says, Haru, be careful when you are asking something. Now, if you ask for a beautiful nose, and when you get one, people will ask, how did you get this nose? Then you will have to tell the story. Then they will say, you are such a stupid fool that you got 3 dice and you just ended up having one nose for it. So better you ask for the original nose itself, so that people won't know that such a thing happened to us. So he rolled the dice and he asked for the original nose, and both of them got their original nose. Now say, the story was very hilarious one, but it has so much to think about, right? What is that you understand through this story? What do you understand?
Ma'am, when you think something, sometimes the opposite also can happen.
Okay, that is one way of looking at it. What else? What else? What else? Hamsini? Think. Vishrut,
But
think.
if something is for us, it will come for us in whatever situation we are. But if it isn't for us, then whatever we try, it isn't for us.
Oh, okay. That's another way, interesting way of looking at it. It also can be like this. Like, prayers are very powerful. You have to deserve something before you ask. You should ask yourself, do I deserve it? So you have to work for it before you ask. So you get into a good contract with God, communicate with God, spend some time with God, and then you pray for something and make yourself, ask God to make yourself capable of handling whatever you're getting. That is one way of looking at it. Another way of looking, make judicious use of every opportunity that comes into your life. It may not come again and again. That's another moral. Every opportunity which comes may not come again and again. And one more way of looking at it is, if you don't invite God to be your summer guest, he won't come in winter of your life. That means, there is a famous saying like that. That means you can't keep going and asking God like, oh God, make me pass in my exam. And then for next 1 month, you don't even look at him. Then again, when you have some stress, you again go and ask for him, ask for something. It doesn't happen that way. You have to be in constant touch. That is why every day's prayers, every day doing some kind of, activity where you are in constant touch with God. One of such activities is meditation. You are in constant touch. So now, like, how do you can't just go there, sit in meditation and ask for things and then it has to happen. It won't happen like that. You have to prepare yourself to meditate. Otherwise, we'll end up like Haru. Like, too many things we'll get and we will not know what to do with it. We'll look like fools. So it has to start step by step by step. For that, in our culture, we have to cleanse ourselves. Otherwise, our knowledge, which is always there, is always clouded like a veil. You have to take out that, because we have so many misconceptions, misperceptions about things around us. So many of it. We have opinions, we make judgments. So all that has to be clean for us to be now knowledge to shine forth. So until that thing happens, if you start meditating, we'll all end up like Haru. All things will come to us and we won't know how to handle it. Got it? It can be dangerous. Too many things come, it can be overwhelming also. So that one thing you have to keep in mind. Okay? So before you meditate, you have to do some preparations for meditation. Okay. Prayer also helps us to achieve. Now I want to share a little bit, some information. So I'm going to my screen and I'm going to show you something. Okay. Okay. Can you see my screen?
It is just, yeah, now we can.
You can see the screen. So,
Maybe you should make it full screen and then just show a slideshow.
full screen slideshow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's good. Yeah. Perfect.
So success, failure, and anxiety, which we discussed right now. And then prayer helps us to achieve an object of desire. Whatever you feel like, you can ask, pray for. But remember Haru's story when you ask for something. That's why I told you that story. Then as you pray, what happens? It gives me mental clarity. Because you come completely in contact with that law, which we call God. And so you are in close companionship with that God. And so anxiety is not there. You have much superior power with you. That is association of God. So that will not give you anxiety. One becomes eligible recipient of spiritual knowledge. Gradually, what happens? What is spiritual knowledge? Knowledge that helps us to identify with God and helps us discover our happiness and freedom, our true nature, true happiness, where it is, it will help us discover. So these things happen. Okay. I had something here. Now you see. Does that mean that you are in communication with God? So we should not work hard. Now I have a better force, superior power with me. So I'll pray all the time and I'll stop working hard. Does that mean stop working hard? No. See, look at this. Who is this? Who was that? Usain Bolt. And you know, in 2017, he was the fastest and he continued to be the fastest for so many years. He was like he was not defeated by anybody. Till recently, I think he did not participate in Commonwealth's 100 meters because I think somebody else, Jacob or somebody won. But till then, but why didn't he keep winning all the time? Yes, you know how much practice he did, hard work. So many hours of hard work he used to do. And when he did that, he won almost all the race. Maybe a couple of them he lost. And now he's getting old. So he has to now quit the game. As he's getting old, he's bound to lose because body has some challenges, right? All of us have some challenges, right? Yes or no? Yes or no? When you're young, what you're able to do, you may not be able to do when you're getting old. You all agree with me? So what I'm trying to say is hard work is very important to achieve something. But hard work gives some results, which you may like, you may not like. But at the same time, keep in mind that whatever result you wish to have may not last long. Even Usain Bolt could not hold on for a very, very long period of time. There is always a time frame where you can do very well. And there is always a time frame when the priorities change. So there is no need to feel anxious or disappointed about things. That is one thing, one way of looking at it. Next, I will take you to the same thing and go to the next slide. Yeah. Now you see this. You all can see this. What do you see on the screen? It's a kite, right? So many kites. These kites, what you see here, where is the string of that kite? There is no string there. All these kites here, it's just left in the sky. You will not see somebody holding it. Okay? Role of the string in the sky, you all should know. We'll go to the next. See this girl? She's holding the kite. She's holding the string. You see this? Holding. Okay? Now, why just see this discipline, do's and don'ts. I want to explain this. Okay? Now you see the string. Somebody is holding the string. The kite is high up in the sky. Suddenly the string snaps. What will happen?
The kite will fall down.
It will fall down. It can get stuck to some tree. You can lose it. But you are constantly holding. For example, Hamsini is holding the string and she's on the terrace. It's very windy and the kite is flying high above. And she has a big spool of thread with her in her hand. And she's nicely enjoying. And the thread is just, rolling and it is going higher and higher. And Hamsini is nicely enjoying. Okay? The chances of the kite falling down is less or more?
More. Mom, it is more.
She is holding it.
Mom, but if you leave the string too much, the kite will snap even though you're holding it.
This is what I want to know. You leave the string too much, the kite will be lost. You have to have just the right amount of string for it to be there and you to enjoy the kite, right? So the kite is an example of our life. And the string is like the discipline, When there is discipline in life, you will be able to fly beautifully. When you cut off the string, there is no control. It just goes all around. Even though it looks to all of us, it seems as though it is free. All of us want to be free. Who don't want the time somebody telling us do this, do that, do this, do that. It's such a pain. Don't we all think that? Don't we all think that? Every time somebody is constantly telling us, do this, do that, do this, do that. You don't do this. It's such a pain, right? But to some extent, that is string being very long. That also can be a little painful for the kite. All the time telling, do this, do that, do that. It's like the long string, just like how Vishnu told, just now he said, that can also be dangerous for the kite. Just the right amount of discipline and the boundary where you understand very clearly what you have to be doing and not doing is like the kite flying beautifully. Once it is snapped off, there's nobody to tell you. It's okay to have some people telling you about what you should do and not do. Maybe sometimes they let the thread go a little loose. It is okay to have somebody like that, maybe sometimes annoying, rather than completely cutting off and not having anybody and just going haywire all over the place. Then the life becomes like that kite which is stuck on a tree or into a ditch or into somewhere else in the ocean, and there is clueless. It is completely clueless. So we all prefer to be in that boundary where there are certain amount of discipline which will allow the life called kite to fly just beautifully above, looking at it colorful and enjoying. So discipline is like that of a thread which just holds us in place. So this is something what we don't like to hear. Many of us don't like to hear this. Do's and don'ts is such a pain. We don't want to hear that. We don't want people to constantly tell us, do this, don't do this, do this, don't do this. Such a pain. But it is so much more better than not having anybody to tell us what to do and not do. And as you grow, what happens, Hamsini who was holding. Imagine Hamsini is the parent holding the thread and giving room for few disciplines and constantly reminding the kite to be there. Suddenly Hamsini grows up. Imagine somebody grows up and the parents are not there. When you're young, parents are telling you do's and don'ts. Suddenly you grow up, you don't want to listen to your parents. And you know, who is that who holds the string? It's our scriptures. It's our guru. Gradual transition happens from the parents to the guru. And this happens only when you have enough points. From young age, you should gather points. I spoke about points, no? Doing good things. You will ask, why should I do good things? That person is not even doing anything. This is a common question we ask. I always speak nice to him. He doesn't talk nicely to me. Why should I talk? I'll also be rude like him. He doesn't give me anything. I have to share all the time. We keep saying this, no? But listen, remember, we cannot share points also. What you get, you get. What he gets, he gets. You can't share points. Oh, he's a very good friend of mine, so let him take few points. Or he says, oh, she's a very good friend of mine, I will share some points. Nobody shares. This is called punya and papa in our culture. Punya is how many points you have gathered. And that punyam comes in place when you want knowledge. When you are in the right time, you need some help. It comes in the form of a guru. It comes in the form of a scripture. It comes in the form of Meera Mahodayā, who is taking a class for you to tell you what to do, what not to do. So many kids out there don't have this opportunity. So something is ringing in your mind. Oh, I get an answer for this. That knowledge also is punya. It's through grace. So this is very important. We need to know this. So what all you learned today? We understood what is the importance of prayer. What is God? God is not there sitting up and telling what to do, what not to do. God is just the law. And he is just the law. He is the law. And the law is made in such a way that you are kind, you are nice, you are in tune with the nature, you get points. When you are against, you get minus points. And the points you gather helps you in times of need. And the points you don't gather, you will be disappointed with some results. And then that's the way to mend your ways. So this is what the law of nature is. This is what God is for all of us. It is not there somebody sitting there and saying, hey, you are the sinner. You go to hell. Nobody goes to hell here. All of us decide where we have to go. We have to gain points for that. Okay. So this is one thing. Then we'll get into last, till what time can I take, Mahodaya?
Amy, another 5-7 minutes.
Okay. We'll get into Dhyāna. Okay. So now you should understand what is Dhyāna. What is Dhyāna? I will show you. I need to share the screen here. Okay. Now you watch this. Okay. Just now, what did you see? What did you see now?
Tortoise.
Tortoise doing what?
Going into its shell.
What was it doing, Pranav?
It was like we can say it was transforming into a shell.
It was just transforming into a shell. All the limbs, what the tortoise has, it is so free. It just let its hands, it's whatever you call the limbs, the 4 limbs, and it's happily moving. Suddenly it senses something which is not good for its survival. It just retracts. goes into the shell, and nobody can break it, that shell. Nobody can break. So Krishna also says in Bhagavad Gita, all the senses around are pulling you in all directions. Eat this, be like this, talk to this person. I feel good about this. I don't feel good about this. I want to watch TV. I want to watch mobile. Just withdraw for a second, everything like a tortoise. You should remember when you're doing Dhyanam this, withdrawing everything, all your mind, your senses into your own being, connecting yourself with what we call God within. When He is everywhere, is He not within us? Is He not within us? The law which functions within us is also God. So connecting with that God within us need not be with fear. He is not somebody who is fearful. It should be with love. It should be with love. So the first step of Dhyanam is sit straight. All of you, last 5 minutes. Next class, we are going to elaborate on Dhyanam. Okay? Sit straight. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Breathe out and feel that your whole body is going into a deep state of relaxation. Just release all the tension from your entire body. Literally feel it. Once again, when you're breathing, feel the air entering your nostrils. And as you're breathing out, feel the air coming out of the nostrils and slowly feel the lightness in your whole body. Let's find out slowly by traveling through the body whether each and every part of our body has gone into deep relaxation. Let's watch the toes from within, not looking at your toes. From within, just feel the toes, move it. Slowly let go, relax your toes. Let go, feel the relaxation in your ankle, right and left. Let go, relax your calf muscle, shin, knees, right, left. Feel the lightness in your thighs, right and left, your pelvic floor, abdomen, lower back. Completely relax your spine. Feel it. As you're breathing, feel the spine internally. Visualize your spine. Relax it completely. Relax your arms, fingers, fingertip, palm, wrist, elbow, biceps, triceps, shoulder, neck, chest. Complete relaxation of your body. Now bring your attention to your head and neck. Relax it. Chin, mouth, lips, tongue, teeth, palate. Relax your ears. Relax your cheeks, eyes, eyebrow center. Relax your head. Entire body relaxed. Completely relaxed. Visualize the tortoise withdrawing all its limbs. So you're withdrawing the sense of smell, touch, vision, hearing, everything you withdraw. Slowly, you just try to go deep within and watch your breath. There is a movement. It's as though the breath originates from somewhere And it is slowly residing into that place. Deep in the heart, you feel the breath. The entire function of your inner organs. Beautiful play of nature, what we call God, functioning beautifully deep within, in the form of heart, in the form of lungs, the function. Each and every cell beautifully functioning in your body. What we call the law, the order of this universe we call as Ishvara. In every breath, every cell, feel the presence of Ishvara Tattva functioning beautifully. Once you recognize this nature of what we call Ishvara, it's not different from each one of us. We are very, very pure from deep within. Each one of us are special, unique creation of God. From deep within, Omkara, 3 rounds, inhale deeply. Om. 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 Slowly rub your palms, cup your eyes, and gently look into your palm. Thank you. Mahodayā, you can end with the prayer.
Om Purnamadam Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Dhanyavadaha. Thank you everyone for joining in. And of course, it was a wonderful session towards the end, and also the entire history that we need to remember. I'm sure all of you will come back with remembering that history so that we can continue in the next class with a lot of practice. Clear? Is that what we will do?
That will answer a lot of your questions also. What you have put up, it will answer many questions. Many questions. So we'll take up the questions also.
Yeah. So what I've told is, it's not necessarily that I'll give you the answer outright.
Let them think about it.
It will automatically come to them.
Yeah, it will come to them.
Exactly.
Yes.
We will take that approach. Okay. Thank you, everyone. You can all drop out. I'll stop the YouTube.
Yes.